Hello, ghouls, and welcome to Brave the Basement. I'm your host, the Ghoul That Rules.
I'm your co-host, Black One Jack 2.
If you enjoy getting a little scared, ghost stories, haunted houses, a believer in the supernatural, or maybe even a skeptic, want to look at things from a different perspective, then this is the show for you. Today, we will be talking about the elevator game.
The elevator game.
The elevator game. But first, last episode, Blackjack, you brought up something. And I knew I had read something about it, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it last episode, so I didn't dive too deep into it. And I've since done some research.
Can you remind us what this is?
So you said that it seems like a lot of the supernatural things happen between midnight and 3 o'clock. And I did a little research on this, and there's an actual term for this called the witching hour.
The witching hour, okay.
Yeah. So this, I'm going to read to you real quick. It's right off of Wikipedia. So if you Google the witching hour, you'll find this. It says, in folklore, the witching hour, or devil's hour, is a time of night associated with supernatural events. Witches, demons, and ghosts are thought to appear and to be at their most powerful. Black magic is thought to be most effective at this time due to the veil between worlds being thinner. There are multiple times that can be considered the witching hour. Some claim the time is between 12 and 1 a.m., while others claim there is increased supernatural activity between sunset and sunrise. In the Western Christian tradition, the hours between 3 and 4 a.m. was considered a period of peak supernatural activity. This time is also referred to as the devil's hour, due to it being an inversion of the time in which Jesus supposedly died. The phrase witching hour began at least as early as 1775 in the poem Night, an Ode by Reverend Matthew West.
That's creepy.
So you were onto something that last episode, and there's, like I said, there's an actual term for it, and it is called the witching hour. So today's we're going to be talking about the elevator game, and I'm going to explain to you what it is. So step one, you got to find a building with at least 10 floors. You got to make sure to be alone, that no one else joins you in the elevator throughout this process, otherwise you must start over. So once you get on, you're going to press the button to go to the 4th floor. Don't get out. And then you go to the 2nd floor, the 6th floor, the 2nd floor, the 10th floor. Do not get out on any of these floors. Then you're going to go to the 5th floor. At this point, a young woman could come inside the elevator with you. Do not speak or look at her, even though she may look familiar. Then press the 1st floor. If you press to go to the 1st floor, but the elevator goes to the 10th floor, remain on the elevator. You're still in the game. If you press to go to the 1st floor, but the elevator goes to the 1st floor, then exit the moment the doors open. Do not speak or look back. Once you reach the 10th floor, you could choose to get off or stay. If you choose to get off, the woman from step 4 may ask you a question and even call your name. Do not answer. Now you have reached the other world. To know for sure you are there, the sign is that you are the only one there. So, once you reach the other world, how do you get back to our world? Return to the exact elevator you came from and press the same order of buttons mentioned before, finishing at the 5th floor. Once you're at the 5th floor, press the button for the 1st floor. However, this will cause the elevator to go to the 10th floor, so you must press any other floor button to stop it from going to the 10th floor before reaching there. Once you're on the 1st floor, make sure everything around you is all right. If something is not normal, remain in the elevator and repeat step 2.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say this. We do not recommend you guys playing these games, man. It is creepy. I know me and Google Rules were talking about doing this episode months back, and we were researching on this, and we have found out there has been some deaths of this game.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, and I want to get into the Eliza Lamb story here in a little bit. But you're absolutely right. So something I noticed from going over these rules that makes me a little nervous is I've heard the rules just a little bit differently. So this told you to come back to our world, okay? That you got to get back on the elevator. Now I've heard it completely different. I've also heard it where once you leave the elevator, you can't get back on the elevator. And the only other way to get back to this realm is you got to take the stairs all the way down to the ground floor of the building. And the problem with that is, we're calling it another world or another realm, but it's supposed to take you to another dimension. And the problem with going to another dimension is the laws of physics can be different in that dimension. You could be in a good dimension. You could be in a bad dimension. You don't know what kind of dimension that you're going to.
You don't know where the elevator is taking you.
Right. And so it like I said, the laws of physics could be different. So let's say you travel to another dimension where instead of going down, you got to go up to get down.
That's weird.
Yeah, so what if you got to walk on the side of the building? Instead of, we're thinking up and down as in a vertical, but what if this dimension is more sideways? And so you got to walk sideways to get back down. And that's what's creepy is you don't know what dimension or what you're going to face. Another thing that I had read is if you don't get off the elevator, you can end it by simply just going back down to the ground floor.
I think we're skipping one fact here.
What's that?
The lady.
The lady, okay, yeah. So that's another one that I thought about. And what was scary in the rules of this game that I just mentioned, it said she might even look familiar.
That's creepy.
So, or even call you by name and know your name and try to ask you questions. And I think where this gets a lot of people is you don't want to be rude to somebody. You feel like you're going to be rude to some stranger for no reason. And if you're skeptical about this game, you might talk to this woman. And I've never heard what happens if you do acknowledge her or talk to her. I've never seen it. So if anyone out there has got any information on what supposedly happens, send us an email. We'd love to know.
I wonder if she knows what you've been through in life. If she knows you by name, I wonder if she knows more memories, more everything about you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've never had anybody. Well, she knows your name.
That's number one.
Yeah, so maybe she does. I don't know. I guess it's one of them. We'd have to try it to find out.
No.
You wouldn't do this one?
No.
This one I would be willing to do. The only thing I would be worried about is messing it up because the rules are kind of complicated. That's why I just kind of briefly went through them. I would have to write them down, obviously, before I would do it. I've seen videos of people trying the game, and they had all the instructions written on their hand in marker, so they knew what floor to go to next. Go to this floor, then this floor, then this floor, then this floor. And then they had certain floors circled, knowing that an event, something's supposed to happen at that point, and whether or not to abandon the game and start over.
Yeah, I'd mess that up.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So you brought up, the people have died, and I mentioned the name Eliza Lamb. This is a theory, so this isn't fact, and this is, how she died. But there is a big theory that she died playing this game. And you can find a video of her on YouTube. Multiple videos, a lot of people have talked about this. And what happened was, in the video, you see her get on the elevator, and the elevator doors open, and she starts pushing a whole bunch of buttons for floors, but the door never shuts. And she acts like she's hiding from somebody. And then she would peek out of the elevator down the hallway and then hide again in the elevator. And at one point, she gets out of the elevator, but you can't see what she's doing because she's standing just to the left of the elevator in the hallway. And the camera you can basically just see like part of her arm. And then she ends up getting back on the elevator, and she's just acting very odd and very weird. And then she gets out of the elevator again, and she starts doing this weird, almost like a swimming motion at one point with her hands. And then it looked like she was like trying to rub a table or something. You can't figure out what she's doing. But anyway, so she's just acting really strange. And she disappeared. And they couldn't find her. And several weeks later, after some hotel guests have complained about the water in the hotel that she was in, they sent a service team up there on the roof, and they went into the tank, and they found her body inside the water tank of the hotel on the roof of the building. A lot of people claim that she was on drugs and she had bipolar disorder. The toxicology report was clean. She had no drugs in her system. They can't explain her death. Her official cause of death was drowning in the water, obviously. But how did she get in the tank? And a lot of people had pointed out that this tank was a really big tank. It's not something you could just easily crawl into, let alone open up. You'd had to have tools to open it up. Probably would have had help to get inside the tank. So that led a lot of people to believe that someone was stalking her and she was trying to get away from the stalker, and they threw her inside the tank. We don't know. The reason why I think that she was playing the elevator game is because at the beginning of the video, the elevator doors open up for her. But when she starts pushing buttons, the doors don't shut, and she stands there for a while before she gets in front of the door or gets out of the elevator, and the elevator malfunctioned. And I found that very odd.
First of all, her first mistake was playing the elevator game. I'm just going to say it right there. First mistake, you're playing an elevator game. And look what happened. She's now in a tank.
So, well, it is just a theory, though. What if she was being stalked by somebody and she wasn't playing the elevator game? So I would challenge everyone listening to the podcast today, go on YouTube, check it out, and you can make your own determination. But like I said earlier, what got me was the elevator door opened up just fine when she got on it. And when she was trying to press buttons, the elevator door would not open. And this is the last anyone had seen of her, is this video footage of her in this elevator. And like I said, a lot of people believe that she was playing the elevator game.
So we recommend you guys to try out some of these games, especially Midnight Man, Three Queens, right? Or is it Three Kings? Three Kings. But elevator game, I don't recommend. Come on, a lot of rules. You gotta have an elevator, 10 stories.
You don't have an elevator in your home, Blackjack?
I actually don't.
Yeah, me either.
10 stories?
No, I don't have a 10-story home either. But like I said, go on YouTube, take a look, see what you think, and we'd love to hear what you think. For YouTube listeners, go ahead, leave a comment. For everyone listening on the other podcast platforms, you can send us an email at bravethebasement.
I want to say one thing. If you guys have tried out the elevator game, please send us an email saying how your experience was, and maybe that will be on the show.
So, Blackjack, why don't you tell us what is going on with Black One Jack 2 in the video game streaming world?
Okay, guys, so we're going to be trying to stream again on Twitch, and we're going to be playing Minecraft. We're going to have a mod on there, which is a server, actually, on Pixel One, and we're going to be recording a video on YouTube very soon. It'll be dropping, and come check it out, guys, on YouTube and Twitch, Black One Jack 2.
All right, if you'd like to become a Brave the Basement Ghoul, be sure to share this show on social media. Go to bravethebasement.weebly.com and sign up for our newsletter to get all the latest news and updates when each episode has been posted. If you have a ghost story you would like to share with us, you could reach us at bravethebasement@gmail.com. Your story could make it on the show and be featured on the website. You can also submit your story on Reddit under the subreddit Brave the Basement or in the YouTube comment section. If you have an eerie ghost photo you would like to share with us, please email us and include a description, and your photo could be added to our photo gallery. And that brings us to the end. We hope that we brought you just a little fright. And remember, when you are up late at night and you hear something in the other room that just doesn't seem right, it's okay if you need to turn on the light to protect yourself from things that go bump in the night. I'm your host, Ghoul That Rules.
I'm your co-host, Black One Jack 2.
And I hope you join us again. Till next time.